Yo, I rest on the seventh day, as surely is a Sunday. One path to your Uwa and your Usha is the one way. Narrow path, step and stay on track like a subway. You should crack the sky with the Malakim someday. Dietary laws, ain't no eating swine flesh. Your Usha garment staining blood like the wine press. The heathens crying out, strong delusion, they the blindest. These heathens can't keep Jesus, not appease in the slightest. Feast days, moral laws, keeping the Shabbats. Don't follow the ways of Edom, by your Usha's blood I'm bought. Jesus is a big Virgin Mary, don't need her. Yes, I spin the block on the devil with the heater. Covenant keeper, the Ruach is my teacher. Yahuwah the creator, worship him and not the creature. Christianity can't be any same old difference. You call on pagan names and you call yourself bishops. Heathens in these camps, Jacob giving up his birthright. Held up with these nations, white bodied like a termite. Reject the Messiah, yeah, your doctrine is Jewish. Scum of the earth, cause that doctrine is sewage. Yahusha in the Torah, you can't see it, you foolish. Committed to your Uwa, it's a fact that I do this. You are my enemy if you an enemy of Torah. Destruction for the wicked, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, ain't no new ways, doctrine, no chakras, no auras. The Apocrypha, I read it, I explore it like Dora. I'm a strong black man with biblical values. Fulfill doesn't mean abolish, yeah, I'm quoting out Matthew. I'm not a patriot, I am fearing the lure. 24 and forever, my king is Yahusha. I don't care about America. All right, I'm just gonna jump in. So I just want to say this real quick, man. Listen. If you're not going to watch my videos, do not come to me asking me any questions. Please don't do that. Because as I've said before, a lot of my videos cover a lot of the basic questions people come to me asking me all the time. But if you are not going to watch the videos to understand my position and where I stand on with things, if you are not going to utilize the resources that I gave to help you understand the scriptures, such as my blog, please do not ask me any questions. All right. I don't want to hear your questions because there's plenty of videos. I've done videos on feast days. I've done video on Torah. I've done video on this. I've done video on that. If you're not going to go back and watch them, there's no point in me even asking me anything because, I mean, everything you need to know is in the videos. They're much more comprehensive. They give you the scriptures. They give you the scriptural references. If you're still lost about the calendar, go back, watch my videos. If you're not going to watch my videos, don't ask me anything. Now, if you watch my videos and you're confused about something about my videos, because I have people come to me and say, hey, I watched your video, I'm a little confused about this. And I'll be like, okay, all right, well, I could explain that a little bit better. So if you watch a video and you get confused about something, yeah, of course, I could explain it hopefully in a way that makes sense to you. But yeah, what I've noticed is a lot of people are not watching my videos. And whatever reason that might be, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of the things that I bring out are 100% scriptural. They're not my own opinion. I don't lean on my own understanding like a bunch of our people who are teaching the scriptures do. I break these scriptures down for you. I give you the Yabari. I give you the original tongue. I read it to you in the tongue. I give you a lot to prove what I'm saying and why I say what I say. But like I said, I think that some people just listen to a lot of people, bro. And then that person says something and then it contradicts with what I'm saying. And so now you come at me and tell me I'm wrong because you like that person a little bit more because they say something that agrees with what your understanding of the scriptures is. Listen, there is no personal interpretation of the scriptures. The scriptures are what the scriptures are. They say what they say. You know what I'm saying? We're not really able to just kind of bend it towards the will of what we want it to be. So if you're saying that the Gentiles can't be saved because the northern kingdom is who is being referred to in Romans 11 and Romans 12, I'm like, that doesn't actually make any sense because Paul said, it is my desire that all of Israel will be saved. But we know not all Israel going to be saved. You know why we know not all Israel going to be saved? Look at Israel right now. Look at a lot of our people right now. Look how in the truth, and they're more wicked than when they was in the world. We know that there's going to be 2/3 cut off. We know that's a fact. So if niggas is in the streets yelling at other nations and telling them they're going to be slaves, but they're not warning the rest of our people that they can be cut off and be the 2/3 cut off by the Most High, and that your bloodline doesn't actually protect you from the wrath of the Most High, then maybe we would be a lot further on than we are right now. I'm just saying, I see a whole lot of condemnation, but I don't see a whole lot of conviction. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I don't see a whole lot of conviction in this nation. I see Negroes going live talking about F this person, F that person, MF for this, MF for that. You know what I'm saying? They got songs about the Most High, talking about MF for this, FF this. Like, bro, y'all look and sound just like the world. It's like if you're a Hebrew, I don't really know how a person would be able to tell, right? Sometimes I have to catch myself. I get angry. Sometimes certain words might come out of my mouth, right? But I don't just be coming up on here trying to cuss and stuff like that. I know it's little kids that watch me, Salaki children, you know what I'm saying, that watch me and stuff like that. So I try to keep it, fair. But I don't know, man. And listen, if my channel is not something that's for you, I understand, because I don't do what every Israelite does. I have my own style. I have my own way that I do things. I have my own visuals I use. I don't need to copy anybody. I don't need to do what everybody else is doing, because I'm a very creative person. So I don't need to copy nobody else's idea and follow what everybody else is doing. The reason why the Most High chose me for a time such as now is because he knows that what he put in me is going to be used for his purpose. So no, my style is different than everybody else, and I'm cool with that. I don't want to be no carbon copy. I'm good doing things the way I do. I play my music before I go on. I get in the mood. You know what I'm saying? I bring out the truth. We laugh. We joke. We look at history. We look at what the Europeans have covered up. We dive deep in these documentaries. We have call-in shows. Yeah, we do things very differently here. And that's just the way it is. You can't expect me to run my channel the way Watch and Report runs his channel. Nothing against him. Shout out to him. You can't expect me to run my channel the way Gates of Holder runs her channel. You can't expect me to run my channel the way Truth Unedited runs his channel. You can't expect me to run my channel the way Brother Yakoba runs his channel. We all move as we feel led by Yahuwah. And, there's people that I watch that I don't agree with 100% on certain things. But just because I disagree with them about something doesn't necessarily make them my enemy or somebody that I still won't look to in understanding of other things. Like, yeah. So there's people who I disagree with, but I still watch them because I still think that they understand a good enough amount of the word for the basics. Like, I know some people who don't think we should keep the feast days, but they fully believe in Yahuwah. I got people who believe in keeping the feast days, but don't believe in Yahushua. So, I mean, sometimes you really with other people, you got to chew up the meat and spit out the bones with them too, because, you got some of our people believe Jerusalem is the Middle East, the so-called Middle East, the fake state. Some people believe that's legitimately Jerusalem. I mean, I don't believe in that, but just because they believe that that's the land don't mean that they're false teachers. It's just their doctrine is wrong. They don't understand that these maps and that fakes, if you got a fake people, you're going to need a fake land to go along with it. I believe when we see the two witnesses and all that, it's not going to happen in that fake state. I believe it's going to be in Africa where we see these two witnesses. I believe the fake Jerusalem is where, the beast will rule from. But I believe like the valley of Yehoshaphat and the judgment of the heathens and Joel and Obadiah and all that, I do believe that's going to be back when we back in Kebulon in Africa. So, some people don't believe that either. They don't believe, that the Middle East, or they believe the Middle East is legitimate. I've seen Negroes really make videos debating each other, and I didn't sit through the whole thing about it because I think that's corny. Debating with people about scripture, I think that's corny, personally, for me. There's nothing to debate, bro. Like, the scripture is cut and dry. Now, if you want to compare translations, then that's cool. But debating people, I don't know, man. Listen, if you do it, I'm not like talking down on you or nothing, if that's what you do. But when I see Hebrew Israelites debating with each other, instead of just, going in private and having a conversation and sitting down and going through the scriptures together as men, I think that's better than debating the Bible. There is no debating the Bible. The only way that people were debating is when the Pharisees were making up doctrines of men, and Yahusha and some of the Yahudim were keeping Torah, the laws of Moses. The only type of debating is when some of the Israelites became Hellenized and they was following the ways of the Greeks, denouncing Torah. You know what I'm saying? Because they was afraid of the Macedonians. You feel me? But no, I don't believe in debating, fam. I don't believe in that. Yahuwah's word is true, and his word is all that matters. And it's like, if you can't believe the scriptures for what they say, and I understand, there's leaven added to the scriptures and stuff like that. I do understand that 100%. But at the same time, that's why I say comparative translations are a must. I mean, like I said, I stick with the Septuagint for a reason. It is the most accurate. It agrees with, the Qumran scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls found in Qumran. It also agrees with even some of the Ethiopic books, those Ethiopian Yahudim and what they got. So, I mean, like I said, if you disagree on that, that's on you. Go ahead, disagree with it. But I'm just gonna be honest. There's a reason why most of your churches want you using a KJV, NIV, NLT, Cephers, and all these. Well, they don't really use a Cepher because they use the true names. But there's a reason why the Ish people have been behind translating most of the Bibles most of our people use today. There's a reason why the people who Yahusha said are liars are behind and pushing the KJV, NLT, NIV. Because if you was using the Septuagint, bro, a lot of these lies that a lot of people believe, like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. This is one reason why I tell people stop using the KJV. It's garbage. It's trash. It really is. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying the word the Most High is. I'm saying that translation is trash and garbage. So let me show you something. Y'all remember when Noah lands the ark, and then it talks about Yahuwah tells him to build it, right? And he said, make it with gopher wood. People will see that scripture and say, see, I told you America's where the land is. I told you the Bible takes place in America. And that's why a lot of our people believe in these, that they are actually, Native Americans and all this goofy stuff. Now let's look at Genesis 6:14 in the actual KJV. Then we're going to look at the Septuagint. And you can see it never said no freaking gopher wood. That's the heathens lying to you. But y'all want to be everything but Yasharal for some reason. I don't know why. All right, let's go over here to the scriptures real quick. I'm going to show you this. We're going to go to Genesis 6:14. We're going to look at the Septuagint, and then we're going to look at the KJV. Well, actually, we'll start off with the KJV first. So let me go there. All right, so Genesis 6, and we're in the KJV right now. Okay. So right here, Barshi, Genesis 6:13-14, and Elohim said unto Nuach, the end of flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the ark, or I will destroy them with ha'aras, the earth, which doesn't make sense. He said I will destroy them with the earth. What? He destroyed the earth with water. So why would he say he destroyed? That's what I'm saying. The KJV, even just that right there is trash, because it's over here trying to say he's going to destroy him with the earth, but it's actually the water that destroyed the earth. But anyway. Verse 14, make you an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shall you make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without and with pitch, right? So you're going to see that, and then they're going to be all like, well, that means America is where you find the gopher wood. But let's look at it in the Septuagint, though, because it don't say that. Boom. Make, therefore, for yourself an ark of square timber, and you shall make the ark in compartments, and you shall pitch it within and without and with pitch. Then let's look at this one, the previous verse. And Yahuwah Elohim said to Noach, a period of all men has come before me, because the earth has been filled with iniquity by them, and behold, I destroyed them and the earth. So he said he gonna destroy them with the earth, but in the Septuagint says, I destroyed them and the earth. You see, just those little things that you think don't matter in the KJV translation, it completely changes what it originally said. And this is why so many of our people are deceived, that they just realize the text never said nothing. Excuse me. It never said nothing about no gopher wood. You feel what I'm saying? But that's what the KJV got y'all believing, because you following them Ish people. The Septuagint was translated, the Abari was translated by Greek-speaking Israelites. It had nothing to do with Amalek. It had nothing to do with the Revelation 2 9s, 3 9s. Our people have become Hellenized into Greek ways. And so some of our Israelite brethren, they literally translated the first covenant or the Old Testament to Greek to get our people to come back in covenant with Yahuwah, because many of them started speaking Greek and following after the Yabani heathens. That's why it was written in Greek. It wasn't because it was written by Greeks. It was speaking by Israelites who spoke Greek, trying to get our people back in covenant with the Father, reminding them about Yahusha. It is the most accurate. It is the most accurate, but that's why you see a lot of our people out here, you know what I'm saying, with their KJVs, yelling these heathenistic scriptures at people and stuff like that. The scriptures that are not actually approved of by the Most High, but approved of by our enemies. I mean, there'd be so much more power if you gave them the Septuagint verses. I'm just saying. But listen, man, all I'm saying, y'all, is like, I'm just done with the fake stuff, bro. If you don't really rock with me, stop acting like you do. Stop it. Just stop. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't have an issue with nobody personally in this truth. All of y'all are my people, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not supposed to hold grudges against y'all or nothing, so I don't. If something happened between us, you know what I'm saying? You know, I won't hold that against you, you know what I'm saying? Because people gonna have disagreements. We're gonna have different, you know, feelings on certain things. But the thing is, I don't like fakeness. I'd rather a person say I don't actually like you as a person and make it clear, and then just not come around, right? Just like I'm not going to act like I like John Truth. I don't like him. I really actually don't like him as a person in general. When it comes to Europeans, do I like them? No, not really. There's a few that I rock with, that I can accept, that I know are good people. But the majority of them, I don't like them, don't trust them, don't want to be around them, don't want nothing to do with them. Because most of those people that I'm talking about don't even want to cleave. They still dealing with the fact that they came from a bunch of Neanderthals. So, I mean, if they're not really trying to cleave, then I don't want to be around them. The Most High always segregated us from the heathens. He always did. That was his way. I mean, being Kadash is to be separated from everybody else. So the thing is, no, I don't want to be. Integration ain't helped us. If they don't want to cleave, bro, I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't need them around. They're going to be destroyed anyway. What the heck I'm going to build a friendship with them for? I don't want to be friends with them. I'm good. It's crazy to me how people could see the world that we in right now and how emboldened these people are. You know what I'm saying? How they over here bragging about wanting to enslave us again. They over here making it very clear that they want us going back to Jim Crow. And they expect us to sit here and just talk about, yeah, we got to love them and trust them. Hell nah, nigga, you crazy. What about Yahuwah saying never trust thy enemies? Never. I'm supposed to let my guard down when these heathens is so emboldened right now? No, sir. You crazy if you think I'm going to do that. And to the white folks out there that say all I speak is hate, listen, all I speak is the truth. It just sounds hateful because you're not the main character anymore. It just sounds hateful because white supremacy is dying. It just sounds hateful because you can no longer brainwash us. Y'all liked us when we was easily subjugated. Y'all liked us when y'all could control us. Y'all liked it when y'all could make us hate each other, hate ourselves, hate our skin, hate our features. But now that you realize that your elven witchcraft ain't going to work on us no more, now you want to talk about we hateful and we racist. We can't be racist. If we was really like y'all, bro, there would be no such thing as no Caucasian. We would have been ended y'all, which goes to show we ain't like y'all. We just want to be left alone. We want to do for our people. We want to help the nation. We want to help the nation grow. We want to serve the Most High. We don't want you coming around Christianizing us. We don't want you coming around trying to lead us and all of that. That time is over. Don't you understand it's over? Don't you understand the time of the Gentiles is at an end? It's over for y'all. You need to accept that. And it ain't nothing Donald Duck, slick back like Donald Duck, Trump, is going to do for you. He made that clear. He don't care about y'all poor white people. We know all white people ain't middle class. We know that there are white people who are just as impoverished as we are. We know. The trailer park, the white trash kind. We know. But see, those white trash people, they thought that they could vote and that they would have preferential treatment over the niggas that's in poverty. But now all you realizing is that you are now experiencing the things that you actually voted against. You voted in the name of white supremacy. Here's a scary thing, y'all, about this this presidency thing. Let me be honest. This is where the most, I was thinking about this last night as I was, just thinking on the Most High and thinking about the scriptures, thinking about the end times. And I realized something. Most of these white people have already made a covenant with Satan by voting for Donald Trump. All right. They made a covenant with him because they hated us so much. So y'all really set yourself up. Listen, if you voted for Donald Trump with the intentions to get rid of Negroes, enslave Negroes again, take away all our rights, and, do all these things and take us back to Jim Crow, you have already made a covenant with the devil. What if this is the mark of the beast? I'm just saying. And what if this dude is actually the beast and you voted for him because of white supremacy? So it's clear that the white supremacy, if this is really him, if he's really the beast, I'm not saying he is, it's looking like he is though. If he's really the beast and you voted for him because you thought he was going to preserve your white supremacy, you have already doomed yourself. You have already turned your back on Yahuwah. You've already turned your back on Yahusha. And the problem with y'all is y'all fail to see it. Y'all you're too prideful. You're too prideful to look within yourself and see that you voted against your own best interest in the name of white supremacy. And what you did while trying to come after us is you shot yourself in the foot. But the only people that are guaranteed deliverance when this place goes down up in flames is the Negroes. The only people that Yahusha was sent to is the Negroes. The only people who Yahuwah said will be above all nations is the Negroes. But you voted for that because that's what you wanted. You wanted to keep us down and all of that, and now you're realizing it's affecting you. Boy, this is what I'm saying. It's going down, if he really is the beast, I'm not saying he is. I don't know. I think he could be, possibly. But what I am saying, though, is if it's so easy for white people to put their trust in a white man who is not clearly for them just to try to overcome black people, that goes to show this anti-Messiah, whether it's Trump or whether it's somebody else, it has to be a white man. It has to be. It has to be a white man. There's no way. I've heard people say, oh, Putin said the Messiah is black, so that means the anti-Messiah is most likely going to be a black man. Bruh, there's no way under the dome. For the whole world to accept him and love him, you think he's going to be black? Come on, dude. That don't make no sense. How many white people would bow down to a black man when they're still in denial about the damn scriptures? Why would they actually bow down to a black man? Don't you see they hate that idea? Don't you see they hate that concept? You could give them Deuteronomy 28. You can give them Genesis 15:13. You can give them Songs of Solomon chapter 5, verse 10. You could give them ruddy in the scriptures and show them the ruddy dirt of Africa, Al-Kebulon, and they'll still sit there and deny it. You could show them burnished bronze skin and they still deny it. And you mean to tell me that they're going to choose to bow down to a black Messiah? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Stop gaslighting yourself, man. Ain't no way these people would ever bow down to no black man unless, and even if destruction was upon them, because the scriptures say that this is, you know what? Honestly, this does make more sense. These end times starting to make more sense now that I realize that this is about us, y'all. So do y'all remember one of the pestilences the Most High is going to send up on man is burning them with the sun? That hits different when you realize this book is about us. Because I'm like, well, we melanated, right? We ain't going to have to worry about the sun scorching us and burning us. But I can think of a group of people. I can think of a nation of people that would be crying out, screaming out when the sun gets a little bit too hot. You feel what I'm saying? Burning them down. Oh, I could definitely see that being a judgment for real. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely see melanoma becoming a real thing. Oh, for real. Yeah, definitely. Being scorched with the sun. I mean, that's kind of hard to imagine black people being scorched with the sun, but I could definitely imagine a certain people definitely being scorched with the sun. One of those, that's one of the, I think it's the pestilence. It's several different judgments. There's the 7 seals, 7 bowls, and 7 trumpet judgments. But I know one of those bowl judgments, one of those trumpet judgments is to be scorched with the sun, to be burned. You feel what I'm saying? See, these end times, I don't think they're about us, family. I've been saying that for a while. I mean, they're about us, yes, but I'm talking about the suffering. That's for them. It's not for you. Yahuwah said that the time of Jacob's trouble will be coming and you will be saved out of it. I just think that a lot of these bowl judgment and end times judgment is for our enemies. Because when I think about somebody being burned and scorched by the sun, I think about them. And then I'm wondering something else. Shout out to Deborah. She made a really good point. I thought about this. It's something I'm thinking about more and more now. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? This does change some things. If white people are mutants and we're never supposed to be here, right? And they weren't created by Yahuwah, would that mean that they would not be able to actually be in the kingdom because they would they have to be restored back to black? Would they get their melanin back? Because if they're not created by the Most High, I don't understand how alien beings would be able to dwell in the kingdom. So maybe their melanin, I've heard some people kind of assert that, like, well, maybe white people will get their melanin back and not be, you know what I'm saying, the mutated ones. But I don't know. That was just, it's an interesting thought, because the Most High only created melanated people. He didn't create white people. So how under the dome would these mutant creatures be able to get into the kingdom? That's kind of interesting. I mean, maybe they just gonna have to be pale people that could, you know what I'm saying, be in the kingdom. But if we gonna all receive new bodies, then maybe they'll receive a melanin body. But I just was thinking, how could the mutated ones make it to the kingdom? Because they're a form of genetic corruption, right? That's something I've been thinking about. Abari Rahuyim says, yes, sir, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, like, that's really something to think about. If these people are really mutants and they are, you know, the walking example of what the fallen did, and they receive a new body, I don't think they're still going to be white. They would have to be melanated, or I don't know, some sort of darker brown or something, you know? And I'm wondering if we go into the kingdom, will it eliminate, you know what I'm saying, the white skin thing forever? Because we know where that came from. It wasn't Yahuwah. It was something else. So maybe they'll be restored back and won't be mutated anymore. I mean, I'm assuming so, because if their bodies change to a perfect corrupt body, then that means they wouldn't have white skin anymore. That means they wouldn't be pale anymore. That makes the most sense to me. If the Most High made us in his image, he created a melanated man, a melanated woman, and he said it was good, then that means his intention was to make melanated people. So if we receive a perfect, incorruptible body, then that would mean that a person that is white or mutated or a mutant, they would have to be restored back to a regular body that wouldn't be mutated. It wouldn't be something the fallen angels did, because the Most High wouldn't want that in his kingdom. So that does make some things interesting. Yeah, that you know, and it's like I never really thought about it like that, but I've heard a few of our people bring that up, and I'm just like, that is a really, really interesting, good point, especially if you watch the documentary and you realize that is a mutation. You realize these people are basically mutants. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that makes sense to me. The Most High would restore things back to the way it should have been. Melanated man, melanated woman, melanated children dwelling amongst him. You feel what I'm saying? And I also believe, to people who've asked me, I believe that, you know, once we are changed, there's not going to be any more colonizer blood in us. I believe we'll be wiped clean. I believe the bloodline will be fully restored, meaning there won't be no mixing going on in our blood nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Or anything like that. I just believe we will be the pure Israelites. We will be restored, you know what I'm saying? In every way, shape, and form, you know, the way he wanted us to be. I know they say flesh and blood will not enter the kingdom, and we know that, but we will receive glorified bodies. So it's like whatever did happen in slavery, I don't think it will no longer be in us. I think we will be purged, cleaned, refined. You feel what I'm saying? So to people who've asked me that, yeah, I definitely believe when we receive those glorified bodies, we're not going to be, you know, walking around with colonizer blood in us and stuff like that. I think all that's going to be just be wiped out. Yeah, if he will heal our flesh, then it's very possible. Right, exactly. G-Man, shalom. Remember, they said black skin was cursed, but it's the opposite. Well, the Mormons said blacks be turned white again. Now reverse that. Right. And, the thing is, it's crazy because the more I look at the things that they have taught and the things that they have said, I'm realizing it's really the opposite, because they even taught that if a person is saved by who they call Jesus, then they're made white, like white, washed white as snow. Even though that's more symbolic than it is literal, they've obviously made it literal. But some of them do believe that you will turn white when you go into heaven. So if you're already white and you're black, then you would have to turn white, which is crazy. Because I'm doing right now, I actually took a break to get on here to talk to y'all for a little bit, but I'm working on this Uncle Ruckus character analysis video essay. And I was talking about that episode where he was like, talking about the white Jesus and stuff like that, and how, they equate whiteness to righteousness. And, if they equate whiteness to righteousness, then they automatically equate blackness to wickedness. You know what I'm saying? That's just that's the flip side of it, But yeah, yes, they will be servants. They definitely will. I 100% know that they will. Yeah, I'm fully in agreement with that. I know that they will be serving us. Now, some people have said that they don't think that they're going to be serving us only for the 1,000 years. I disagree. I believe the Gentiles will be serving us forever, not just for 1,000 years. They will be serving us forever. Okay? If we gonna forever be in rulership, they will always be serving us. Okay, we had to deal with 400 years of them being in servitude to them. Well, I believe that the blessings of Yasharal. Let's look at these blessings, because when you look at the blessings in Deuteronomy 28, it does reveal to you it's really about when we go back home and when we get that righteous rulership, because those blessings, they agree with what Hamashiach says about us, gaining the kingdoms, the Kadeshim, the saints, the Israelites. So let's look at this real quick, because I think the blessings are very much the same thing that we get when we make it back home, that the Most High is going to give us, which is that rulership. So let's look at this. I'm probably going to do a lesson kind of tying that together for y'all, but I believe fully that these blessings are still attainable as long as you come back in covenant with Yahuwah. But let's just look at this, and y'all tell me what y'all think. But I think personally they do agree with the blessings of Deuteronomy 28. So let's look at this together in the Septuagint here. And it shall come to pass, if you shall diligently hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that Yahuwah will set you high above all nations of the earth. So he will set you high above all nations. That sounds to me like we will be ruling. Co-rulership. Let's keep going. Co-ruling with Yahusha. Blessed shall you be in the city, blessed shall you be in the field. Okay, when the Most High restores us, he says that our meat will grow, our land will grow back, it will blossom with flowers, we will have cattle, we will have people that will feed our oxen, feed our bulls. Okay, so we have that agrees us. Well, our city will be restored, the walls will be built back up, we'll be back home. So that seems to agree with it. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body, the fruit of your ground, the fruit of your cattle, the increase of your kind, the flocks of your sheep. Yes, it says that we will dwell with creation. You feel what I'm saying? When we go back into the kingdom. So that seems to agree with what's going to come to us. Blessed shall you be in basket in your store. Absolutely. I mean, we will rule the nations. Okay. So we will have wealth. We will, have power, a righteous rulership. Okay. Blessed shall you be when you come in, blessed shall you be when you go. The Bible says that the world will acknowledge that we are the seed that Yahuwah has blessed. The nations will come down and bow before our feet and lick up the dust of our feet. I mean, I don't be telling white people to do that, but I'm just saying it is written, so it'll come to a point where they will have to do that. Okay, that seems to agree with what them scriptures say. Let's keep going. Yahuwah shall cause your enemies that rise up against you to be smitten before your face. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. That seems to agree with Ezekiel 38 and 39, with the war of Gog and Magog. The nations come against us. They will not prosper. They will be destroyed. We will take their wealth. We will take everything. We will drink the milk and eat the fatness of the nations. Their kings will come bowing down before us. Okay, let's keep going. That seems to agree. Verse 8, Yahuwah shall command the blessings upon you in your storehouses and all that you set your hand to do, and he shall bless you in the land which Yahuwah gives you. Okay, yes, that agrees. We're going back home. All praises. Yahuwah shall establish you as a holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto you, if you shall keep his commandments. All right. That's why it says, and all seeds will know, everybody will know that this is the seed Yahuwah has blessed. So, family, these blessings are still 100% attainable. You feel what I'm saying? They are 100% attainable. And if we are experiencing the blessings, they will experience the curses, right? There's a flip side of this, because look, it has to fit, right? All praises to the Most High. So look, if we experience the curses and they experience the blessings, what does that mean? It's going to be the other way around. We will experience the blessings. They will experience the curses. Now, if they make it into the kingdom, they will not be under harsh servitude like under the Sabians in Joel chapter 3, because there's two types of servitude. There's servitude to us, which is a righteous servitude, more like an employer kind of thing. But I believe if you don't accept us and the curses do go on you, you are going to be under the hand of the Sabians, and they really don't like Europeans. They really don't like y'all. And they are the Dinka tribe. Very, very tall, you know what I'm saying, African people. And I've been looking and tracing back bloodlines and stuff like that. And I do believe that the Dinka people of Sudan or South Sudan are actually the Sabians. So yeah, I do believe the Queen of Sheba came from among them. Yeah, I believe those are her people from what the research I've been doing on some of those Cushitic people, some of those people from the Nubian kingdom, like Nimrod and a lot of those other individuals. So you got two captivities, bro. You got a righteous captivity where you won't be mistreated. You know what I'm saying? But you will be working for the Israelites. You will be feeding our cattle. You will be drawing our water. You will be under our righteous rule. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the captivity where you're going to get it worse than what y'all did to us by the Sabians. But if you go into slavery of the Sabians, you will not be in the kingdom. So eventually you're going to die. Yeah. So, I mean, there's two of them, you know, but like I said, I don't really worry too much about what they do because it's up to them. I just know we already served what we had to serve. So those blessings, I believe 100% are attainable. They are still ours to have. All we got to do is come back in the covenant with the Most High. That's what I've been trying to show people. But yeah, man. Anyway, I said all that to say, like, please don't be on that fake stuff, man. Listen, if you rock with me, all praises. If you don't, all praises. Totally fine. But please don't be acting like you rock with me when you don't. Come on, man. We too old for this. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't like me because I teach the Gentiles can be saved, or I don't teach that all Gentiles will be destroyed, or I don't teach that the northern kingdom is the Gentiles in scripture, because that's not what the scriptures say, fam. You know how I feel, what I think, it don't matter. We got apocryphal books. We got all types of other sources outside of just the renewed covenant that prove other nations can serve the Most High. I mean, they're not above us. They will never be above us. They are just converts, essentially. That's it. But he does make it clear that people can become converts or strangers or sojourners, and they can come into covenant with the Most High to be spared by Yahusha for servitude. So I can't disagree with that. I mean, if you say that you don't believe they can be saved, but you believe that they will service in the kingdom, that doesn't make any sense, because the Bible says, and the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Elua. Okay, the ones who don't accept us, who are unrighteous, are going under the Sabians. They're the ones who are going to be sold to us to go sell to them in Joel 3. Obadiah. That's a different group than people who know their place and just say, okay, you know, we're going to cleave to them. We're going to treat them right. I ain't got no problem serving them because I just love Yahuwah and I love his people. I'll gladly serve them. Those are humble Gentiles. Those are humble Gentiles that will be allowed to come into the kingdom to serve the Most High as well as serve his children. But the ones who ain't humble, who don't want to accept it, bro, they're going to be destroyed and they're going into captivity. That's what it says. So, like I said, if you think the Gentiles can't be saved, then how under the dome would they be servants to us? The unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom at all. The only way they'd be allowed to enter Jerusalem to be our servants is if the Most High accepts them. Otherwise, they going into slavery by the Sabians. So we got to start making a distinction. I'm just saying. Talisha Yah says, I agree about the Sudanese being the Sabians. They say the Sabians are Arabs, but I believe they're Sudanese Muslims. Yes, sister. See, I think these Muslim people are like trying to throw people off and stuff like that. If you look at a lot of those South Sudanese people, a lot of them are Muslims for sure. You can see that there's definitely an Arabic influence, but that's just because of the sub-Saharan slave trade. There wasn't a Christianity and freaking Al-Kebulon before the colonizers. There wasn't, Islam in the continent before the sub-Saharan slave trade, the Muslim slave trade and all of that. So it is under a lot of Islam or Muslim control, but you have a mix of Sudanese people that are Christians. You have some that are Muslims, but that area has always been a Nubian area long before some damn Arabs came around there, unless you're talking about the original descendants of Ishmael, you know what I'm saying, that might have kind of frequented that area, but it's definitely not the European version of Islam that you think of today. It's a whole separate thing. G-Man says you're right. Whenever the time comes and the Most High feels the times of the Gentiles have been fulfilled, then the end of this system shall come. Yeah, but I think personally, I feel like it's already happening. I think you're looking at it right now. I mean, a few people brought this up. Shout out to the Daughters of Zion. I've seen a few videos that corroborated with each other. But the scriptures say that Yahuwah, he said that he will take out the wise men of Edom. Let's pull that scripture up real quick. I believe is that Joel or Obadiah? I believe it's Obadiah. It could be Joel. Let's look at Joel 3. I think it is Joel 3. Is it Obadiah? No, I think it is Obadiah. It's Obadiah. Okay, let me pull that up real quick. Obadiah, he will take the wise men out of Edom. And I think about that because I look at the president, I look at Elon Musk and how everybody's laughing at us. I'm like, yeah, the wise men out of Edom is definitely happening right now. Everybody's laughing at these white men. I find it funny, bro. I definitely do. Definitely do. Let's look at this. Yeah, Obadiah 1:3. Thank you so much, sis. Shout out to Leal. Okay, let's look at this. All right, so okay, let me go to Septuagint. Y'all know I gotta do Septuagint here. All right, let's look at this. This is Obadiah, Obadiah, chapter 1, and we'll read 1-3. The vision of Obadiah. Obadiah, thus saith Yahuwah, go to Edom. I have heard a report from Yahuwah, and he has sent forth a message to the nations. Arise, and let us rise up against her to war. Hana, behold, I have made you small among Haguyim, the Gentiles. You are greatly dishonored. The pride of your heart has elated you, dwelling as you did in the holes of the rocks, as one that exalts his habitations, saying in his heart, who will bring me down to the ground? If you shall mount up as the eagle, if you should make thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring you down, saith Yahuwah. If thieves came into you or robbers by night, where would you have been cast away? Would you not have stolen just enough for yourselves? And if grape gatherers went into you, would they not leave a gleaning? How has Esau been searched out? How have his hidden things been detected? They sent you to thy coast. All the men of your covenant have withstood you. Thy allies have prevailed against you. They have set snares under you. They have no understanding. In that day, saith Yahuwah, there you are, Obadiah or Obadiah 1:8. In that day, saith Yahuwah, I will destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau. Oh, yes. Verse 9, and thy brothers from Thaman shall be dismayed to the end, that may be cut off from the mount of Esau, because of slaughter and the sin committed against your brother Jacob. Shame shall cover you, and you shall be cut off forever. From that day you stood in opposition to him, in the day when foreigners, strangers, heathens were taking captive his forces, and strangers entered into his gate and cast lots on Jerusalem, and there also, and there was you as one of them. You should not have looked on the day of your brother in the day of strangers, nor should you have rejoiced against the children of Yahudah in the day of their destruction. Neither should you have boasted in the day of their affliction. Boy, so many of us are just waiting on these books, bro, to come to pass. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I do fully believe that the wise men have been destroyed out of Edom. Like, I can remember a time, even before I was even able to vote, where people respected presidents in some way, shape, or form, right? But if you talk about Biden and Trump, the last 8 years or so, everybody's been laughing at us. And that's why I say I just don't care who you vote for at the end of the day, because it really doesn't matter. America is going to be the one that everybody's going to be laughing at, because the wise men out of Edom, Yahuwah said he would remove. And so now what you have is a bunch of this one. Look, listen, Elon, let me show y'all something interesting about him. Let me see if I could pull this up. So let me show you something, right? So Elon, right? That's his name, right? Let's pull this up. Let me show you how this. So Elon, right? I find it interesting, though, that his name is Elon when the Most High is referred to as Ha'alyun. Some people call him El Elyon, but I don't use the E because the E ain't in the bar. It's actually A. So his name would be, if you refer to him as the Most High, it will be pronounced Ha'alyun, Ha'alyun, right? But then his name is pronounced as Elon, and some people refer to the Most High as El Elyon. I just, you know what I'm saying? I think that there's a little bit of wordplay. Y'all might be like, Yex, are you looking too deep into it? But I don't know. It seems to make sense. Like, here, let me show you. Let me type in Ha'alyun, and then you can see what I'm talking about, because there's definitely something interesting there. So look, this is Ha'alyun right here. This is how you would refer to the highest. Aleph, Lamad, Yad, Ua, Nun. Ha'alyun, right? Now, if you typed it, in the heathen Hebrew, you would have it like this. El Elyon, right? Which they say is so-called God's name, but we know that's not actually his name. It's just a, you know what I'm saying, like a title. Just like I say, Alyun would mean highest or high, or Ha'alyun, the highest, which is why I say it. But it is very similar to Elon's name, right? And then he has like these cryptic messages that he posts on Twitter or X. And he also had that Baphomet suit on and all of that. He was wearing the New World Order of the Ages on the back of his shirt. Let me see if I can find that. Elon Baphomet. Yeah. He had this as his display picture for so long, bro. And I was like, he really ain't hiding anything. Yeah, this right here. He had this on his display picture for like quite some time, bro. And I was just like, well, there it is. Somebody say he's not human. I don't think he is, if I'm being honest. Something is definitely off about this guy. Yeah, just kind of strange. You got the Baphomet right here, upside down cross. But you know what's so interesting, though? The Europeans really got played, because if you think about it, give me a 1, family, because I want to know if it's just me. But I remember for a very, very long time, I've heard white Christians always say that Obama is the so-called Antichrist. It can't just be me that feels that way. I've heard them say that for so long. Now, they could present that Obama is the anti-Messiah, but they won't ever accept that it could be Trump who is. Because they used to, a lot of them hated that he was a black man and he was in the office. And listen, I'm not no supporter of Barack Obama at all. I voted for him back when I thought this stuff was real. As soon as I saw him getting behind the homo community, I was done. I don't rock with that fruity stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I just pulled out. I checked out of politics at that time. But I've heard a lot of white people assert he is the beast, right? Or the anti-Messiah. And I was like, well, possibly, he's really liked, he's really accepted. But then I look at Trump and I look at Elon, and they're still projecting it on Donald Trump, saying he's the anti-Messiah, but they won't say that about Trump, because he's working with somebody that wants to put a chip in your brain, which seems to agree with the Agenda 2030 and this beast system, Then this man also is basically making himself out to be a dictator, bullying these other nations. And the Bible says that the beast will have power all over all tribes, tongues, languages, and nations, and he will set to change times and law. And they literally, I think, just recently changed the time. What is it? What do they call it when the time changes? I forget what they call it. But they recently just changed that and said that they're going to get, they said they're going to get rid of daylight savings time or something like that. So changing times and laws. Then we got something that looked like it could be the mark of the beast, while at the same time, you're the biggest brown noser of Israel. Here's another thing people don't know about Trump. He's owned by the Rothschilds because they had bailed out his company years ago. And they bailed him out of billions of dollars of debt. So basically, for lack of a better word, he's Israel's bitch. Sorry. I just had to say it like it is. I can't think of any other way to say it. So I'm just going to say it. Yeah, daylight saving. Yeah. You know what? Actually, I had a meme that I want to show y'all. Freaking funny. But yeah, he's owned by them. So it's like doing all this stuff for them. I'm like, y'all just Israel. All right, let me see if I can find this meme. Y'all was probably, yeah. I mean, I couldn't really think of no other way to say it. I'm like, that's really what he is. He just be buck dancing for Israel. Like, anytime I see somebody being an Israel apologist, I automatically look at them with just like disgust. Like, shut up, bro. You don't know what you're even talking about, man. Let's see here. I think it is it this one? Hold on. I have to show y'all this because it's so funny. I saw it online, bro, and I was just like, man. Okay, here's one of them. This is not the main one, but this is one of them. I think this one's pretty funny. Not the GTA graphic. What? Oh man, Daral Yahoo said, "Did you see they're getting ready to build a temple in Israel?" I have heard, and if I'm being honest with you, I think a lot of these things is going to fall on the fake Jewish calendar. So I'm sure something could possibly, if they are going to do something, it's most likely going to happen on their feast days. All right, let me show you another one. So that was one of them. I just have like a bunch of these memes that I had just saved from online. And let me show you this other one. This one's pretty funny too. So I showed you that one. All right, check this one out. Stop calling me Oscar and pass me around the actors. My name is Ptah, which is another deity, by the way. Can't tell me America ain't Babylon. I'm just saying, bro. All right, I'm trying to look for the other meme that I was telling y'all about, but I don't see it right now. Let me show y'all this one. This one's hilarious too. Do you know Jesus Christ? I don't eat cheese and rice. Woo! Hilarious. Bro, I've got so many memes that I've just been collecting over time. Oh yeah, y'all gonna love this one. This one's hilarious. Why? I'm sorry. fam. I follow a lot of, you know what I'm saying, pro-black people, and they post a lot of memes like this, and you know what I'm saying. I just be collecting them and stuff like that. I've been trying to do more videos and more posts on my community tab of like Black history and stuff like that. Maybe things that maybe y'all didn't know, you know. All right, let me show y'all some more of these, bro. These are so funny. Look at this one. This one's hilarious. You believe in me, right? Hell nah. Woo! That one's hilarious. I had to do the voice with it and everything, bro. We must remain humble. We are very humble, but we definitely have a sense of humor that goes along with humbleness. All right, let me see. Show you this other one here. Got so many of them. All right, check this out. It's another one. Ghislaine Maxwell's best customers are still running this crap show. Indeed. That's why when people be talking about releasing the Epstein files and all that, I'm looking at them like they're crazy, because they don't realize that the man that they put their trust in completely, he was very good friends with Epstein. So I don't understand why you would think that he's going to release anything, especially with his name probably being on the majority of the documents. All right, let me show y'all another one. This one is pretty hilarious. Show this to any atheist. Atheism 101. Nothing created everything. That's what I never understood about atheism. Like, it's like they want to believe in something, but they don't want to believe in the highest. So I'll hear atheists talk about energy created everything, frequency created everything. But I mean, if you think about Yahuwah, he would be the embodiment of what you think of as energy and frequency. When I think frequency, I'm not thinking of like in the sense of, new age or anything like that, but the very existence and the way and the capacity and the complexity to what is Yahuwah, the eternal existing one. Like, I don't think you can really actually break it down into a way where it's less than something greater than our minds can wrap around, essentially. Yeah. I'm going to be doing a video essay on Yahuwah very, very soon, on his name, on who he is, because I've noticed like a lot of people have a hard time explaining who Yahuwah is, right? You know his name, he is the highest, but a lot of people struggle to be able to explain who the Most High is. And it's not because you don't know the scriptures and you don't understand him, but I know sometimes people can get lost in just the words, the sea of words, because it's so hard to describe him in just words where people will understand. But in my walk with Yahuwah, personally, for me, the Most High Yahuwah has been able to help me understand the complexity that is him. Now, I can't say I know all the mysteries of him and all of that, but he's been able to give me a solid understanding that I can put in actual words to explain to people how limitless his power is, why he cannot be put in a box, why he is the highest, why I call him the highest. Like, and that's not saying that anybody is close to him, right? But like I said, other people say all praises to the Most High and don't be talking about Yahuwah. So I got to say Yahuwah the highest, because there's other people up there out here in this world exalting their false deities like Jesus and God and all these other deities to higher positions. But I'm telling you, the highest is Yahuwah. No one comes anywhere close to him. He is the highest. Yeah, there are other gods that people have called on and believed upon, but the only true living Alua is Yahuwah, and only him. You feel me? So, I'm going to probably do a video essay on him and his name and all of that very, very soon. I've been feeling led to do that because I'm doing more video essays and stuff like that on this channel. Really trying to expand it a little more, do a little bit more stuff on here outside of the normal thing I do, because, the Most High got me doing different stuff. So all praises to the highest, Yahuwah. All right, hold on. Let me show y'all some more memes since we going through these right now. But yeah, I think if somebody had like a video essay, and the video essay, when I drop it, fam, I really want y'all to share it to everybody who's trying to understand, because even people who are Christian, I think, would be in agreement in how he is being described. I mean, no one will be able to deny that if they really believe in the Lua of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, even if they don't know his name. All right, let me show y'all this next thing here. I got a bunch of these, bro. I'm telling you. This one's kind of funny. It says Epstein's clients aren't in jail. They're busy creating a social credit system for you. You know that, right? Exactly. Exactly. And it's like, it's crazy, fam. It's almost like scary how many people have no idea what's coming up on this world. The level of ignorance that I see people swimming around in, the lack of due diligence that I see people doing is crazy in these last days, fam. Most people have no idea there's a social credit system. A lot of people have no idea that eventually we're going to be ushered into this Web 3.0 integrated digital system around us. It's going to be like Black Mirror. I don't know if y'all seen Black Mirror, bro, but that show is insane. Black Mirror, I feel like that show is more scary because we know a lot of the technology that they use in that show is what's coming to the world. The fourth industrial revolution that heathen Klaus Schwab always be talking about. Basically, an autocratic type of system, technocratic, autocratic type of system, essentially. Everything will be technology based. Everything will be about authentication. And then you got your digital IDs. You've got all of these digital systems where a person can be banned from all forms of finance, all forms of apps, everything, because your name and your identity will be attached to your digital ID, and you will need your digital ID to log into these platforms and to authenticate yourself. And once you're authenticated, there's no way to authenticate out. That's what I'm telling you. When they move into this next system, I would highly suggest you leave it. Do not be a part of it. Do not tap into it. When they start telling you need to upload your ID to use these platforms, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to comply, you need to scan your face or scan your fingerprints to use these platforms, man, you better say no. Don't feed the beast, man. I'm telling y'all, do not feed the beast. Yeah, digital ID. But I honestly, though, I believe it's going to be way before 2030. They said they wanted to accelerate the New World Order. So I don't believe it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe it's going to be like 2030. I believe we're going to see a lot of that technology leading up to 2030. And I believe by the time 2030 gets here, a lot of the technology that is going to be a part of 2030 will already be seen and implemented by that time. And this year, you're definitely going to see it. Here's another thing that's interesting. So I saw this on Twitter, fam, and it looks like these cyber trucks are being, it says that they were anonymously donated to the police department, but they have the technology that will be perfect for a police state. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on a minute. Cyber trucks were donated to the police department by an anonymous person, which I believe is most likely Elon Musk with his goofy self. Yup. Look at this, fam. Let me show you this. And it's a good this. It says, we are excited to unveil what we believe is the first police Tesla Cybertruck in the nation. The truck will support our drug abuse resistance education program and community outreach efforts. Details in the comments. In California, bruh, that's crazy. For NIA, that's wild. Wow, y'all. Audio. like so much with these trucks and stuff like that. I think the trucks are personally ugly. I wouldn't want one. I don't think there's nothing cool about them. I just think they look awkward, you know what I'm saying? And just corny looking, and just, dumb people will just buy it just because everybody else bought it. I don't think there's nothing nice about them. I don't think they look cool. I wouldn't want to be seen in one. I wouldn't want this car personally, but I just noticed that they've been kind of like foisting that imagery on you about this truck, and I'm realizing it's probably because there's a greater purpose they're going to use it for that they're not talking about. So if Tesla places are going up in flames, that seems to me like it's going to bring in some sort of protection for these cars, while at the same time not letting you know that police cars are being police departments are being donated these vehicles. So people start targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks and stuff like that, which I think is personally a psyop. I definitely believe it's a psyop. It kind of reminds me of like the robot dogs. Like during the pandemic, they had these little robot dogs going around to see if people were actually wearing their masks. This is a police state. Look at this. And also, another thing that I think is interesting is like when he was advertising the car, he was showing all these people smashing stuff against it, taking sledgehammers and smashing it. This thing is extremely durable, especially when it comes to bullets and stuff like that. Something is coming, y'all. Something is definitely coming that they're not telling you. And they got you distracted with like just showing you these cars, but they're not talking about the police being donated these. That tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, they're definitely
9 cops to protect one Cybertruck. Amazing.
wow. Yeah, there's definitely something coming, family. Yep, Irvine, California. There's another one right here, and this is, where is this at? This is in Dubai. Okay, family. So you got these Cybertruck police cars in California, and you also have them in Dubai. Look at the Arabic writing right here. Okay, so this is something that is not being talked about in the news. They're distracting you that these Tesla places and a lot of these Cybertrucks are going up in flames, but in actuality, what's being happening is they're being donated to police departments. Interesting. Very interesting. That's why I say you really can't trust the news. Every time the news is reporting on something, I'm looking for the alternative story, because I know that there's more than what they're telling me. And there's things that they're trying to distract me from, things that they don't want me to know about. And I'm sure you guys have heard about the Tesla fires and stuff like that. But I personally believe that this is a psyop to bring in these police Tesla Cybertrucks. So they're not being destroyed. They're being donated to your local police department. It's only a matter of time. I seen one guy tearing his apart by hand. Really? Yeah, I mean, well, I think that there's a lot of use when it comes to these trucks for this system they're building. That I can definitely say. When you think about Bluetooth, if you think about AI, if you think about facial recognition, if you think about even some of the maneuverability and the tracking systems of this technology, it goes far beyond the budget of what the police, because the police department can't afford, to have all their cars as Teslas. The fact that they're being donated by a so-called anonymous person, it tells me that there's definitely something bigger than what we think. Yeah, it's definitely a psyop. It's definitely a psyop with people setting them on fire. And he just keeps posting these videos on Twitter. Elon, by the way, he keeps posting these videos on Twitter saying this is destruction. This is, evil. This is they're calling it Tesla terrorists, people that are setting them on fire. But I'm telling you, I feel like a lot of these people are agents. This is controlled opposition. It's a psyop. a bunch of agents setting these things on fire, paid shills. You know, they got these shills like Alex Jones to cry about it, whine about it, make everybody think it's an attack on Trump, when in actuality, they all working with the police, they working with the states, they working with the federal government, they working with the Amalekim, and they said we gonna distract them with this. Meanwhile, we gonna prepare this. Just be ready. Now, shout out to Brother Yakoba. He mentioned something, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday he went live. I was listening in the background. I was doing something, but I was there listening, and he talked about, they said, have y'all heard about 420? I'm not talking about the smoking thing. I'm laughing because when I was watching the replay on his video and people were talking about 420, they thought it had something to do with weed. But 420, April 20th this year, they say something could go down as far as the Insurrection Act, I believe is what it is. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Man, I haven't celebrated 420 in years. That's crazy, bro. Yes, April 20th. Yes. So, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like he's going to invoke the Insurrection Act, where he will be able to deploy the military, for some kind of whatever he deems possible. Let me see. 420. Well, let me just put April 20th. So I want to get the actual information so I can share it with y'all so y'all could be aware. But then there's also people saying that something could go down. Something could go down on April 2nd, which is very interesting because that's going to be leading us right into the feast days and stuff. So I think that's interesting. Okay, so let me show y'all this article. All right, now this article is from February. We, a little ways from February now, but I just want to show this to you because people have been saying this for a while. And I think that there could be, I'm not saying it's true. April 12th. Yeah. I don't know what calendar you're following, but we're doing Fasak April 1st. According to the Enoch calendar. I think April 12th might be the Jewish one. I definitely don't follow the Jewish calendar. But anyway, yeah, we're doing April 1st. So look, this is what I think the April thing could be about, April 20th or whatever. So it says 65 days to martial law, how the Trump administration is setting the stage for the Insurrection Act, which is what I think this is actually about. So let's read a little bit more about it. And this is where they can deploy the people out, the military and all of them out in the street. Now, this is why I keep telling black people, Negroes, Yasharal, the Israelites, the chosen of the Most High, y'all have to be really, really careful about taking the bait that they're trying to push towards you to get you out into these streets to protest. They will continue to play in your face. They will continue to, introduce legislation that's free or give certain people bond or be pardoned and things like that. They will continue playing in your faces. Bad things will continue happening to black people. They want to do everything they can to get you to get out into these streets. Don't you do it. Stay home. Now, some of our people, they're going to do it anyway, and they're going to mess around and find out. All right. If they're trying to get you out into the streets, they're ready for you. You got these people called the Patriot Front that are literally talking about overtaking the black people. I'm going to show y'all all of that in a second because y'all need to know what's going on. But let me just show you this first so we can read more about this. All right. So it says in 65 days on April 20th, 2025. Am I sharing my screen? Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. Okay. All praises. Okay. So it says, damn, why does this thing keep popping up? Okay. In 65 days on April 20th, 2025, a major inflection point will arrive in the United States. That date marks the end of the 90-day review period President Trump established through Proclamation 10886, January 20th, 2025, directing the Department of Defense and the Department of Homeland Security to determine whether invoking the Insurrection Act of 1807 is necessary for border security and mass deportations. The Insurrection Act is a rarely used law that allows the president to deploy military forces domestically under specific circumstances. Now, pay attention, family. Historically, it has been invoked only in cases of rebellion or extreme civil unrest, such as during the Civil War, the desegregation crisis of the 1950s, and the 1992 Los Angeles riots. Now, however, the Trump administration appears to be setting the stage for its first ever use in immigration enforcement. What it looks like to me is, the way I'm looking at how things are going, the way I'm looking at how, the tension is building up, there's going to be some kind of event that will definitely revolve around Black people. That I can tell you for sure. And I believe that what's going to happen is that when Black people go out into the street for whatever ends up happening, that's when martial law will be declared, and it will be a trap. Now, is that exactly what's going to happen? Yo, I don't know, family. I'm only just giving you the information. Maybe nothing will happen at all. But what I can tell you is something is coming. Something is coming. To say that there isn't would be lying to you. There's a reason why these people are being, stirred up with this Nazi salute and stuff like that. Why you keep seeing people throwing up the Nazi salute. I just saw somebody else do it on one of these programs, these conservative programs. They keep throwing that thing up. What are they trying to stir up in people? They're doing this on purpose, y'all. Don't be surprised if you see more of these right-wing conservatives continue to throw up that Nazi salute. That symbolism that these heathens use, bro, it stirs something up in them. That's why Ben Shapiro, he is also a shill. And he's talking about, pardoning George Floyd's killer, Derek Chauvin. They're definitely trying to stir us up. And I'm telling you, we ain't got nothing to do with this. We ain't got nothing to do with what America got going on. The Most High will deal with this nation. He will deal with these heathens. Just don't get involved. This is not our fight. We got to trust the Most High. Let the Most High deal with it. Don't let these people stir you up and get you mad, because they are purposely provoking you. They are purposely trying to get you angry. Don't let them do that to you. Keep your eyes on the Most High. Let Babylon fall. We ain't got nothing to do with this. We ain't got no allegiance to this nation. What the hell am I going to go out and protest in the streets for? We've been doing that for hundreds of years and ain't did nothing for us. What are we going to do it now for? What's it going to change? It's a white man in the office. You think he going to do anything for us? Of course not. There's no point in protesting, bruh. I mean, after 400 years of protesting and realizing it ain't going to do nothing, I don't understand why I keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That is the definition of insanity. We have nothing to gain by going out into them streets. It's a trap. But you got shills, you got controlled opposition, you got boule boys, you got Prince Hall Masons out here that's trying to coax you to go out into these streets. You don't listen to them. All right, they want to go out there and fight for this country, these FBAs and these, foundational Black Americans and these coons. Let them go and let them F around and find out. Just saying. All right, fam. I just wanted to say that real quick, y'all. Y'all be blessed, man. Y'all be safe out there. I'm gonna try to have this video up tomorrow. I told y'all I would drop the Uncle Ruckus video this week, and I'm almost done with it. But listen, man, all I want to say is, look, if you're not gonna watch my videos, you know what I'm saying, I don't think it's really beneficial to ask me questions, because a lot of the questions you might have couldn't be found on the videos. And if you're not going to even watch them, then there's no point in asking me a question. Unless you actually watched the video and you got a question about the video, I'm happy to answer it. But I'm just noticing a lot of people hitting me up, asking me questions about things I've already covered. And I kind of just get tired of saying the same thing over and over again, especially if you've been watching me for a while. Y'all know that I got resources for you. Y'all know that I have a blog that has all these scriptures you can look at and study yourself. I'm just not going to keep on telling you to go to these blogs or go to these videos if you're not going to even take time to look at the information. It's just pointless at this point. I can't do the work for you. All right, I can show you where your salvation come from. I could tell you about Yahuwah. I could show you the scriptures, but just remember, it's a personal relationship. So if you think that you don't got to do any work to get close to the Most High, you are greatly mistaken. All right, I've had to do a lot of work to get to where I'm at in Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? It's effort that I had to put in to get close to him, to seek out his face, to be studying, to be diligently seeking the scriptures. When I'm doing these lessons, yeah, you should be taking notes. Just saying, if you ain't even think to take notes, that could be part of the reason why you having a problem understanding some things. You need to go back and look at these things, fact check what I'm saying, go to the word yourself with 2 or more witnesses. But it's like people want me to help them have a relationship and for me to be the middleman to them and Yahuwah and Yahusha. And I'm like, I can't be that. I still got to maintain my relationship with the Most High. So we all have to be willing to do work to get closer to the Most High. He may require more of you than you're used to giving him. And that's just what comes with it, you know? But I'm just a vessel. I cannot actually be the mediator between you and the Most High, or even you and Yahusha. You got to go to Yahusha. You got to learn the ways of Yahuwah and ask the Most High to reveal himself to you. I'm only here to show you resources, but you still have work to do if you're building up your relationship with Yahuwah. We all have to do that work. All right. If you thought that you was just going to know it all overnight and not have to read your Bible and not have to fast and not have to pray, listen, if somebody told you that, they lied to you. You're going to have to get on your face. You're going to have to fast. You're going to have to, deny food, water, whatever it might be. You're going to have to study in the scriptures and spend some time in reading the word. You're going to definitely have to go back and read books you've already read. You're going to definitely have to get you a physical Bible where you need to write your notes in there, highlight stuff. You're going to definitely need to get you some binders, some papers, some college binders. You know how many of those I got? I probably think I have let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got this one right here. Got a whole bunch of other ones in my closet. I keep a whiteboard around me. I got my little notes right here. I got my little library right here on my desk. Bro, I write so much. You got to be a Berean for real. You got to really be a Berean. And I'm telling you, people like Yexer, how you know so much? Fam, I seek the Most High. I really did. For the first few years of being in this, I didn't teach nobody. I just listened. I just took notes. I wrote stuff down. I got into the word every day. I was just so hungry to know Yahuwah. I was just so hungry. And then that eagerness to know him and that eagerness to get close to him, literally, it felt like overnight he just poured out his ruach on me. And I started understanding things that I couldn't understand when I was a Christian. You know what I'm saying? But he wants to see us put forth that effort to know him. He wants to see us put forth that effort to get closer to him. And he will. Listen, the Most High is not a gatekeeper of knowledge. He gives that knowledge to anybody that seeks his face. He will give that knowledge to anybody, bro. If you are truly seeking him, yes, he will pour out his ruach on you. I can tell you that for sure. He definitely will. The Most High does not hide information from us. A lot of what he wants you to know is in these scriptures. And there's things he don't want you to know that you won't know, like when Yahusha's coming back and when the second Exodus is. The scriptures don't reveal that. But if you look at the scriptures enough, then you'll understand kind of like a time frame. It will most likely be around the time of Fasach, right? Because he said he's going to regather us back in time to celebrate Fasach to him. Now, whether that's going to be Africa time frame or whether it's going to be Babylon time frame, I can't tell you. But I just know we going home at some point. We know Babylon going to fall. We know all of that, right? So, yeah, I would just encourage you, seek the Most High, you know what I'm saying, in truth. Get closer to him. You know, the Most High desires to know all of us, his children, his people, especially Yahshua. Listen, the Most High desires to know you. He desires for you to talk to him. He desires for you to ask him things. Don't be afraid to ask the Most High for something. Father, can you reveal this to me? Father, can you show this to me? Father, can you open my eyes? He is our Ab. He is our Abba. Okay, we can go to him about anything. And I don't mind if you come to me, like I'm here for you, but sometimes you might get a greater revelation by going directly to the Most High. I'd rather you go to him than you go to me. I mean, I'm still here if you want to come to me, but I'm just saying sometimes it's better to hear it from him than from me. He might deal with you differently than he deals with me. He might deal with you differently than he deals with Brother Yakoba. He might deal with you differently than he deals with Yahoo Israel. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you have to just be willing to receive his Ruach HaKadosh and allow him to guide you. It's real, true submission to the Most High, you know? And I pray that all of y'all find that in him. And if this channel has been helping y'all out, I'm glad. To those who do watch my videos, to those who have gotten closer to the highest through this channel, I'm very thankful for y'all. I just think some people like to come here to argue, and I don't have time for that anymore. When I first started doing this, it was cool, it was fun, but it got very tiring. All right, we are really in some spiritual warfare right now, and I don't really have time to be like arguing with people over goofy stuff. All right, it's just not there. There's just no time. The Most High, I've been putting a lot of urgency on my heart, like just to bring out as much as I can on this platform. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't have time to debate with people about silly stuff and silly doctrines. You know, when we go in the wilderness, the Most High will make everything clear. But until then, I'm just encouraging you guys to keep the feast days, follow the way of the Most High, obey his commandments, believe in Yahusha. You know what I'm saying? And just walk upright, man. That's it. That's it, man. All right, look, y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for joining the stream and everything. I hope y'all be blessed in Yahusha's name. And that's it. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.
Hey, the law ain't done away. Hey, a follower of the way. King Yahusha is the way. Yeah, yeah. Hey, the law ain't done away. Done away, done away. Done away.
Hey, Yaxer.
Yasharal, we the Kadashim progeny. And those curses got us living so lawlessly. We fell into idolatry. Yahusha is the prodigy. Babylon pulled us into sodomy, pornography. Seed of Satan brought falsity so flawlessly. Deuteronomy told us this was prophecy. Chapter 28 speaks of these atrocities. They try to hide slavery, never offered us apologies. Wrote this album for my people, ain't no stopping me. Modern day Moses and Yahuwah, he is calling me. Censorship ain't stalling me. He gave his laws for all to see. In his kingdom solidly just harmony. Yahusha the Messiah, yeah, kept the law perfectly. The Lamb of Yahweh wasn't limited to carpentry. Spoke in parables, taught the law so ardently. The Torah made flesh and he lived it so artfully. Messiah kept the law so it shouldn't be hard to see. Set apart spirit, help the law become a part of me. The narrow road I'm walking is honestly an odyssey. The law ain't done away, that is obviously some mockery.